I'm Lyndall Jones. I'm the artist who has created the Avoca project, which is this old house, Watford House, and it's a 10-year project. So the Chinese garden came up as a possibility for this grant that RAV was offering. And I was convinced by a friend in town, Lynn, to actually initiate this grant with the town. So there are two elements to being what I call my role is actually officially the artistic director of the project, and so there are in a sense two roles here. One is to work in a collaborative way with the other two. There are four of us really on the garden itself. So Lindy is the lead artist, and Mel is the designer and project manager, and I'm the artistic director, none of which explains exactly what we do. We work incredibly well. It has been the most extraordinarily wonderful opportunity to work collaboratively with this group of people, and it's actually supported by Martin Wynne, who is the soil expert, and he's becoming more and more involved in it now. But the design of it, we actually sat and worked out. Even this morning we confirmed the height of poles by marching up to the main street and measuring various buildings, public buildings in the main street for the height of their entranceways. And we seem to be able to make these decisions together in a way that's really fruitful. The other part to the artistic directorship is really to work with the committee to create four events that are associated with the garden. And I think my role is to try and, I see my role as being to try and theatricalise some of those events in some way, sometimes very small, and sometimes to bring what I call a kind of magic of art to them. That's often by introducing the committee to another person who can do that. Ever since I've worked here, it has seemed to me really essential to deal with two silences in this town. One is the silence about its Indigenous history, and the other is the silence about the contribution that the Chinese people made to the town. And the garden came up in a first meeting that a group of us had, and it struck me as being the perfect way to address that silence, because it's not just a Chinese garden. It's a contemporary garden that deals with the issues of the day. It deals with cleaning water from the stormwater from the town before it goes into the river. So it provides a model for that. It's looking at recarbonising the soil for the area, and so it provides a model of possibility for people working, I think, in drought and frost-affected areas. The soil is also very saline, so it's an interesting way to look at some really difficult issues. As a Chinese garden, I think it enables the town to embrace its Chinese history, obviously, but what has been most gorgeous, I think, has been the fact that the school children are now, as a result of this, learning Chinese at the school.
Hi, my name's Lindy Lee. I'm the lead artist in the Avoca Community Chinese Garden Project, and I leapt at the chance actually to participate in this because a lot of my work is about a kind of healing of the history of the Chinese within Australia, and this garden is actually on the goldfields of Victoria, so it's a fairly significant project, both personally and I think culturally for the country. This has been a most wonderful, how do I put it, collaborative effort between Lyndall Jones, who's the artistic director, and Mel Ogden, who's a fabulous landscape designer and project manager. I mean, she's amazing at detail, which sometimes escapes me, I have to admit. But the three of us are getting on extremely well. We just are able to talk through most things, actually, in quite good harmony. But this is fantastic. I mean, that is fantastic to be able to actually work for. Like, I come from Sydney, and so most of my life has been, I'm a city girl. But it is a fantastic thing to be able to work in the country. I don't know. I can't explain it. But yesterday I was driving from Ballarat, and I actually understood the green and the gold of the countryside. It sounds really corny, but there's something very magical. So it's a wonderful thing.
I'm Mel Ogden. I'm the project manager for the Avoca Chinese Garden project, which is a Regional Arts Victoria initiative with the Small Town Transformation grants. My role with this project is to help Lindy translate her concepts for the garden into an actual landscape, and then I am doing the project management to organize and facilitate the implementation of the designs. It's a great opportunity to be involved in a community initiative with an environmental focus and the historical component, acknowledging the Chinese history in this area, is of particular interest to me.